Yay! All right. For some reason, I'm echoing. I don't entirely know why. Let me see if I can fix it. Hold on. So weird. Okay. Can you all hear me now? Yes? Yay! All right, we're on. I'm so sorry for that. It was all set up and ready to go. Nikki had it set up with the link that we had, and it should have worked just fine, and it didn't. So I don't know what happened, and I think it was some issues with Apple updating. So let me just make sure you all can still hear me. Yay! Okay, good. This is recording, so hopefully it is. But let me start off with recognition. And I'm just going to run through this real quick. I'm going to name who gets the prizes. My puppy is in the Google Hangout, so say hi to Mac. And he might bother me during this. He's been very high maintenance. Okay, so who turned in perfect sheets by Monday? So this is your weekly accountability. Danielle, Liesel, Rachel Robinson, Cassie, Rachel Gasser, Kim, Amy, Jessica, Ashley, Will, Tracy, Lindsay, Christy, and Megan. So thank you, ladies. And Elizabeth. Sorry about that. Your name is on here as well. And for turning in the perfect tracking sheets, one thing that we're doing every single week is I'm choosing someone who has the highest activity for the week, the highest achiever. It's someone that I personally choose based on what you have done for that week and what you report on your tracking sheet. And the winner, and this is just a random gift that I'm going to choose something different every week. So it might be a gift card, it might be a piece of jewelry, it might just be something fun that I think that you would love. This week's winner, who has already held 3 parties for the month of April, and it's only the 6th of the month. She held these before yesterday even, is Rachel Gasser. So congratulations, Rachel. She gets a gift from me for being the highest achiever this week. So turned in bubble sheets, and I just did who emailed them to me. Rachel Webster had a bubble sheet and a half, and Chandra had a half of a bubble sheet. So they both got put into a random prize drawing, and Chandra was the winner. So she won, and that's going to be a fun random gift from me as well. So congratulations, Chandra. And then bookings for the month of April. I'm just going to name those who had at least 4 parties or more. The rest of you, I'm just going to name your names if you turned in any bookings, okay? Because all of you got entered into the drawing for the free phone wallet just for having at least 1 party. I'm only going to name parties. So if it was a hostess with a date plus 2 or more guests with the guest list, okay? So turned in their bookings: Kim, Judy, Amber, Rachel Robinson, Chandra, Nicole Stout had 4 parties. Also Jessica, Christy, Megan. Nicole Stout had 4 parties. Carrie Law had 5 parties. Rachel Gasser has 5 parties. Kristen Turner, now starting with Kristen, and 8 or more. Kristen had 8. She gets a gift card. Elizabeth has 9. She gets a gift card. Rachel Webster has 11, our highest for bookings. She gets a gift card. And the winner of the phone wallet, which was a drawing that we did, is Amber Nolan. So congratulations. So you all did an awesome job. And I just want to say, really amazing with all the bookings that you have. And I know that many of you are still working. I saw that you posted in our Voxer group, today even, that you still are getting bookings today, which is so smart. And what that says is that you are serious about this 100-day dash, and it doesn't just end, on the 5th, but your business is still there and it's still continuing. So that is exciting. All right, so let me jump in. I know we're starting late. I know many of you, you hung in there with me, so thank you. But let me jump into what we're going to talk about today. And one thing that I passed on Friday was a video, and I asked you all to watch it if you could make time to watch it before tonight, because it's going to be what I talk about tonight. And it's something called the 21-day challenge. I posted it again in our Voxer group just about 2 hours ago. So if you had time to watch it since before we are gathering right now, then awesome. You're going to be very familiar with what I talk about. If you haven't watched the 21-day challenge video yet, that's okay. I'm going to ask you to watch it because it will make what I'm about to talk about make more sense. But even if you didn't watch the video, I think that you'll be able to take what I talk about and apply it immediately. Okay, so this is going to be what I'm going to train on. Oh, one other quick thing. Hold on one second. I just realized that Letitia was going to have her girls on, and I didn't send her the link. Okay, so give me one really quick second to send that to her. Okay. Okay. All right. We're good. And again, this is recorded, but this is going to be a method that I believe could change your business, completely change your business. And if you watched the video, I know, I've talked to a few different consultants who have watched it, and there's a couple different reactions that I'm getting about the video, the 21-day challenge. So some people are reacting with, this is amazing. It's exactly what I need. It's exactly what will give me, a focus for how to do this business. And then some people are responding with, it feels overwhelming. It feels like it kind of shuts me down. It's too systematic. Okay. So I think that it really, it might depend on your personality style with how you will feel about this 21-day challenge or the method behind it. But I want to share something because I've really been internalizing it and thinking about it for the past week, really almost daily, on the effectiveness of this method, no matter what your personality style is, how someone could take this and simplify it and make it work for them. Okay. So I want to encourage you to watch the original video that I posted, but let me explain this in even simpler terms. If you watched the video and want one of my reactions, this was my reaction. And this is, after building a business for 8 years and mastered these skills of booking, my first reaction was, this is amazing. It's exactly what we need at this day and age with the clientele that we're working with. But at the same time, I felt like I needed to process, like, okay, how do you get this started? Okay. So, let me just sell you on it first. All right. So this method, this booking method is going to be for you if you fall into any one of these categories. All right, let me run through this. Not if you fall into all of these categories, if you fall into any one of these categories. All right, this method is going to be for you if you want to move up in your business in a short amount of time. It's going to be for you if you struggle with consistency in your business from week to week. It will be for you if you aren't sure who to book sometimes. Like if you're really not sure, who do I reach out to? It's going to be for you if you're new and you don't really know what to do to get your business started. It'll be for you if you just need a plan. Like if you're someone who's like, I just need a plan. It'll be for you if you feel like you constantly need to generate new leads. It's for you if you are naturally disorganized. It's for you if you wonder how to keep track of everyone, if you're like working in abundance, if maybe you have a fear of working in abundance because you're afraid that you don't know how to keep track of everyone, or how do you keep track of all the text? How do you not let anyone fall through the cracks? This system's going to be for you if you aren't sure what to say when you book someone. This system is for you if you have small or big goals, either, and anything in between. It's really for you if you want to make money in Mary Kay. The system is for you if you want leadership in Mary Kay. It's for you if you're afraid of making booking calls, or you're afraid of the phone, or you get anxious or paralyzed when it comes to reaching out to people to book them. This is going to be for you if you think about your business more than you actually work your business. And the way that you can know if that's happening is if you feel like you're working all the time, but you aren't making money. This system's for you if you're stuck, like if you're a seasoned consultant and you've been stuck. It's for you if you have a pattern of start, stop, start, stop. It's for you if you need a fresh plan. It's for you if you find that you set the same goal for at least the last 6 months and you haven't really made much progress towards it. It's for you if you feel scattered. It's for you if you find that your emotions tend to rule your actions in your business. It's for you if you're afraid of being pushy. And it's for you if you find that you struggle with taking things personally, like if someone doesn't respond to you, or if they don't book with you, or if they cancel. Okay, so that's not all encompassing, but what I want to share is that as I've thought through this, and I even considered, do I challenge you all on this, and do I share this with you or teach you this method? And what the conclusion I came to is, it's for any of us, that this really can revolutionize our business. And if you want to make steps in your business, if you want to move forward, which I'm assuming each of you do because you're a part of the 100-Day Dash and you're on this call, I'm assuming you want something from your business that you currently don't have, then I want to ask you to keep your mind open and be willing to try something that might make you uncomfortable, because that is a lot of times what is required to move to the next level. I saw this quote today and I want to share it with you really quick. It says, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I think that this method is going to, number one, it will challenge us. But number two, it's going to cause change in our business. And most of you, or all of you, want that. And I know that because you're on this call. Okay, so let me dig into some of the nitty gritty. I came across that 21-day challenge video because of Nicole Stout. And many of you know Nicole. She is one of our Red Jackets, soon to be DIQs in LA. And she's in our unit, in Elizabeth's future unit. So she'll be a part of the Electric E team when they debut this month. And Nicole, she came across this challenge and she already took it on. She took it on before I had even watched the video or said anything about it. She's basically pioneering this for us, and she's already on day 10. So she's about halfway through her first 21 days. And also, another one of our consultants who is new, she just finished her first month in the business. Her first 8 parties already has those parties under her belt, had her business debut, her first 8 parties, sold $4,000+ in her first month. Kiara Hughes. Kiara is pioneering this and piloting this system for us too, and started today. So basically, it's a booking method that's simple, and what it's going to do for you if you take it on is it's going to take the thinking out of booking, because a lot of times when it comes to booking, which we know is the foundation of our business, when we have bookings, we have future business. We have things coming down the pipeline. We're excited. We have sales. We have new customers. We have new team member prospects. When we don't have bookings, that's always what it comes down to if we want to grow our business, is getting bookings. And so what I have found is that a lot of times what can trip a consultant up is taking the time to book, because she's thinking too much about it. She's thinking about booking. She's thinking of, who do I book? And what do I say? And what if they don't book with me? And what if, what if she's thinking too much? And so we are taking the thinking out of booking so that you can get results. That's what this method is going to do. What it's going to require of you is to just make the decision that you're going to take it on, that you're going to actually implement the system, okay? It's going to make you more professional, which is more attractive to other people, the people that you're booking. When you come across as professional, you will get more yeses. When you come across as low confidence or unprofessional, you will tend to keep people away from you. Not always, but you will also, people will say no to you that maybe would have said yes to you if you were more confident in what you were saying and if you were more professional in your approach. So this is a very professional approach to take to the business. And that's a part of getting results and treating your business like a business and not a hobby, is taking the professional route, is being more professional and being structured with how you do things, that you come off as more professional, you're going to get more professional results. Okay. So it's a part of treating your business like a business and not a hobby. So here's what I want to share with you. There are some statistics, and I'm going to post this in our group, the sales statistics of results that you get. Okay, you guys ready for this? This is mind-blowing. Now, this is the basis of this entire method. Okay, you ready? 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 48% never follow up. 25% make a second contact and never continue. 25% make a second contact and then they stop. 12% only make 3 contacts and stop. So 12% of salespeople make 3 contacts and then they stop. And only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts with somebody. Okay, now, you ready for this? This is going to be crazy stuff. 2% of your results are made on the first contact. 2% only. So let's think about this. If you have 30 names and you're working on booking through those 30 names, and it's just the first time you've reached out to those 30 people, and maybe you just text them. So you text 30 different people. 2% of them will book with you. So what's 2% of 30? Well, 10% of 30 is 3. So 2% of 30 is actually, it's kind of less than 1. So you might get a yes on the first attempt. So, a lot of people, especially maybe new consultants, might feel like they need to move on, or they throw those contacts out, they give up, and they're discouraged because they reach out to 30 people and they don't get a contact, or they don't get a yes, okay? 3% of sales are made on the second contact, only 3%. 5% are made on the third contact, 10% are made on the fourth contact, and 80% are made on the 5th to 12th contact. 80%. How crazy is that? Now, I know what you're thinking. If you're thinking what I was thinking, is I don't want to be that person who's pushy and who's contacting people all the time. And what if they're like, lady, I told you no, stop contacting me. Like, I don't want to be that person just because this is the role that I'm in. I don't want to have to do that to get results. I totally get it. And for the first 8 years of my business, when I think back, when I was building this business, even in the first year, I actually did do this system. I did this method without the structure behind it. That's another one of these thoughts that I had over the past week when I was thinking about that. I did this stuff. So here's the key. I want you to remember this. You're not contacting people over and over again who say no. When someone says no, you get rid of their name, all right? You're only continuing to contact people who don't book with you, who are in the middle, who are saying not right now, or who aren't responding because they're busy, Okay, so those are the people in the middle. That's the 80% that most of us are missing out on because we're throwing them out because we're afraid of reaching back out, or we think we shouldn't reach back out. When those people in the middle actually would be yeses, it's just the timing in their life is holding them back from saying yes right now, or they're just super busy from responding, and they just keep putting it off. I am a perfect example of this. There's another thing that I was thinking about was I reached out to a company for a quote for a new fence in our backyard because Mac keeps getting out. And I reached out to this company, and I actually did it online, and it was like an online form I filled out. Well, the company had someone, they called me the next day, and I missed the call, and I got a voicemail. And I didn't call them back because I was busy, and I just didn't want to make time for it. Although I do still want a quote on the fence, but I didn't call them back. And then they called me a second time, and that was like the next day. They called again, and they just said, I'm assuming you're busy and you can't call me back. That's okay. I just wanted to follow up. And I actually got the voicemail, and I was thinking, okay, I don't have time to call them right now. I'll do it later. I'm sure they'll call me again. Okay. I still want the quote on my fence. They've reached out to me twice, and I still haven't called them back. But I actually want the service. Isn't that just ridiculous? It's so funny. And so I'm a perfect example of this, and I'm sharing this all with you because on the other side of it, I want you to know what we actually think. I'm someone on the other side of it for a different service, and I'm not calling back. And so we need to stop making up stories in our head about what people are thinking when we reach out to them and they don't reach back out. Those are just stories. We can choose the story. So if the story we're telling ourselves is, I'm bugging them, or they don't like me, or they're sick of me reaching out, or I'm bugging, they don't want to book with me because they didn't respond. That's just a story that we're telling ourselves. Let's change the story. Let's change the story to, they are super busy. They've missed my call. They totally want to talk to me, or they want to book with me, but right now it's kind of crazy busy. So I might want to follow back up with them. Or maybe they dropped their phone in the toilet. That kind of stuff happens. Or maybe their texting is screwed up and crazy. Mine was last week. I wasn't getting half of the texts that people were sending me. And so, we got to stop making up stories in our heads, and let's make up a story that supports our progress and supports our goals and supports our dreams. Because unless she outright tells me no, then it's just the story I've made up in my head. Okay, so that's the perspective. Let's take on that perspective. Okay, so especially if we know that 80% of people will book if we follow up in a timely manner, that means that, imagine this. I'm going to paint this picture for you, and then I'm going to finish up by showing you the system that you can put in place and how to do it. Imagine that you have 30 names, and I want you to write this down. If you have a piece of paper, I'm going to actually have you make a chart like this. All right, so write down the number in the top of your page, 30 names. So these are 30 leads that you have that you're starting with. Maybe some of them are friends and family. Maybe some of them are referrals. You want to diversify it and keep it mixed up. So let's say you have 30 leads. Okay, now let's imagine that 80% of them say yes because you did the follow-up and you didn't stop at 1 or 2 contacts. So you book 80% of them. And let's just say you get 20 yeses over the course of working through the referrals. And I'm going to give you the methodology with it, okay? You get 20 bookings. Now, put a little arrow off of the 30 and put 20. So 30 names turns into 20 bookings. Are you following me? Now, let's say 10 of them hold because 50% cancel. So take your 20 and put an arrow and put 10 bookings from that, okay? Now you're holding 10 bookings. Now, from those 10 bookings, let's assume that you are going to work at the Mary Kay way and you're going to master the skill of booking parties from your parties because you're using Julia's flip chart and you're committed to working it by the book because that's how we get results. So let's say you turn 10 parties into 20 new bookings. Those 10 parties turn into 20 new bookings. So from your 10, put another arrow that says 20 new bookings. And then from the 10, put another arrow. So from your 10, you're putting an arrow for 20 new bookings, another arrow, put 40 to 50 people. That's how many people you would be in front of from your original 30 leads because you book 20, you hold 10, you're in front of about 40 to 50 people. And from those 40 to 50 people, because you work at Full Circle and you do your career surveys, put an arrow, and that turns into minimum 5 team members or more. It could be more, but 5 team members. Now put an arrow from 5 team members, and I want you to write down on target car. Do you see how this is transformative? You take 30 leads, 30 names, a variety of different people. It doesn't matter how you know them, 30 names. You turn it into 20 bookings. That turns into 10 that you hold. You're in front of 40 people and you get 5 team members from that. And not all of those 40 people are people that you originally knew. They weren't all on your list of 30. These are going to be friends that have come to the appointment because you're working at Full Circle, okay? So you're taking 30 names and turning it into 40 to 50 people, 20 new bookings from that, bookings from bookings, and 5 new team members. This is going to revolutionize your business. Seriously, this is exciting, exciting stuff, okay? Now let's think of the other scenario, which I think is more what we typically do. We take 30 names and we maybe reach out once or twice at the most, and then we throw them out. And if we only get 10% that say yes, which is kind of high, we get 3 yeses, and out of those 3, half will hold. So we might hold one appointment from the 30, and then we feel like we need new contacts and new leads. Do you all get my drift here? This is like amazing. So I am thinking, this is what I'm thinking, that we are silly to not do this. We would be silly to not do this, especially if we have a big goal, especially if we want to make big things happen and we want huge momentum. So we have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. And really, you have a lot to lose if you don't do it. You have team members that are possible team members. You have possible bookings. You have new business that you could lose if you're not willing to try this method, okay? All right, so here's the next steps. I want you to, I have a page I'm going to pass on, and it's a brainstorming list. And I want you to brainstorm 100 people. Try to fill the list up. And it's okay if you don't get to 100. I'm just saying, like, let's work in abundance. And we like to think that, you know, there's plenty of people out there. We want to believe that because it's true. And we're going to brainstorm a list of 100 people. And then I want you to just start with 30 and diversify it, okay? So you're gonna make your list of 30, your first 30 people, diversified with like the type of people you're working with, or the age ranges, or the kind of leads they are, like family, friends, referrals, you know, diversify it. If you're new, then you wanna start with your original 30. That's the best place because they're fresh. So we're gonna start with fresh leads. So you're gonna make your brainstorm list. And then what you want to do is you want your date book. You want to have a date book. And the other thing you're going to need is 5 highlighters, okay? You're going to need 5 highlighters that are different colors. So you have your yellow, pink, orange, blue, and green. Now this is the piece that I've gotten feedback from consultants that feel like this can be overwhelming, is the system to it, like having 5 highlighters and each highlighter stands for something. And then and then having like a system to who you're calling each day. But this is really, it can be simple. And so I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it. What you're going to do is you're going to take either a notebook, or what I like is actually my date book. So if you get a date book that has a full month at a glance like this is what I schedule my appointments on. And so you can see like where I have highlighted is when I want to hold parties. So I can open up to a page like this and see my entire month at a glance. I like that. You can get a date book like this, like a big one at Target. That's where I always get them every year. So get your date book. That's a paper date book. I wouldn't use your phone for this. It will get too messy, and it's kind of hard to plan ahead because you can't really see everything like this in one place. So this date book is really only going to be for two things. This will keep it simple. It's only going to be for you to schedule on. So I take this with me to every appointment, and it's going to be for you to write down your daily contacts on. Like, the great thing about this date book is there's days. So you can see there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a block for every day, and I can write in who I'm contacting each day. So the basis of this booking method is your focus, and this is going to be the main thing that you're going to commit to. And this is like the workload. The workload is just be willing to make 10 calls a day. That's it. And if you can make 10 calls a day, then this method is going to work for you. Okay. 10 calls a day probably takes 30 minutes. So you seriously could do this anywhere. You could like take your book. This would be all you need. Take your book and your highlighters, bring it with you to work, bring it with you wherever you go. And anytime you have like 10 minutes, make a few calls. By the end of the night, by the end of the day, you'll easily have your 10 calls in. So it doesn't even have to be all 10 calls in one setting. You could do it at any time during the day. Your focus is just make the 10 calls. Okay. I have scripts for this, so you don't have to think about what to say. And there's different scripts based on the person, like if it's a referral, if it's your mom, if it's, if it's a family member, if it's a customer, there's various scripts, and it's all in one page. I'm going to forward that to you all. Remember how I said it takes the thinking out of your business? It seriously takes the thinking out of your business, because you'll just basically plan ahead the 10 calls you're going to make each day. So you can see that I'm actually starting this tomorrow. My 10, I wrote out 1 through 10. And before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to actually put the names and numbers of the people that I'm going to be calling tomorrow. You got to have it planned ahead so that it saves you time. Okay. So you do it the night before, and then actually do it on Sunday. Just write out your 30 contacts. That's where the 30 contacts comes into play. You're just planning out your 10 calls for the next 3 days. So Thursday, there's Friday's 10 calls and Saturday's 10 calls. I have my 30 contacts. I put them into those slots. And then tomorrow when I go to call, boom, I already know who I'm calling. I already know why I'm calling them. I already have the script in place. All I got to do is just do the 10 contacts. Okay. One thing that Nicole told me, and this is also a part of the research I've been doing on this, is that not to get discouraged if you don't see a lot of results in your first 5 to 7 days. That's normal because you're just getting it started. The important thing is to trust the process and to just keep at it for the full 21 days straight. Okay, that's why it's a 21-day challenge, because it helps you to see the results. The momentum builds. You're starting to work through your contacts to get through the 4th and 5th, contacts or more, and you are creating a habit. It takes 21 days to create a habit. Okay. So the other way you could do this, many of you are used to using the bubble sheet. So here's the other method that I wrote out, because if you're using the bubble sheet, don't change your system. Don't change completely. Just alter the bubble sheet itself. Okay. So take your bubble sheet, and you see how I blocked off 10 bubbles, and I wrote Monday. I blocked off 10 more. I wrote Tuesday, 10 more Wednesday, 10 more Thursday. And then I put what the highlighters mean at the top. So you could use your bubble sheet in the exact same way, and it's already planned out. And all you got to do is just do the 10 calls a day. Okay, now here's what the highlighters mean. And again, this is in the video, but let me tell you what I am having them mean. So let's say I call someone on my list of 10 and it's a voicemail, and I leave her a voicemail, and then immediately what the script has you do is you get off the phone after leaving her the voicemail and you text her and say, hey, I left you a voicemail, okay? So let's say I voicemail and I text her. That's the yellow highlighter. So I'd highlight her whole name in yellow. So I wrote that on the top of my sheet, so I remember VM voicemail, okay? Now let's say you book her, you get a hold of her, you book her, or you call, you voicemail, you text her, and she books. That's the pink one, okay? Then I'm highlighting her in pink. I got a date. Let's say she replies to you, and so the conversation has started. Yay, she replied. So that's the blue highlighter. Maybe I didn't get a booking just yet, but she's replying to me and I'm conversing with her. If she's a no, then you cross her off. If she's like a not now, like, hey, I'm super busy, but I'd love to do this, call me in 3 weeks, then do the orange highlighter. And then if she's like, call me in 3 months, you do the orange highlighter. The orange highlighter is not right now. And then if she's interested in the business, which sometimes you'll come across that, that's where the green highlighter comes into play. So what you're doing is, as you're making your calls, you're just color coding people. You're just highlighting them. Is she a yellow? Is she a pink? Is she a green? Is she a blue? And you have your color code at the top. Now, the important thing about this is this. It's a way for you to not let anyone fall through the cracks. If she's a yellow, so remember, yellow means I left her a voicemail and she didn't respond. I'm actually going to take her name and I'm going to go forward in my date book 3 days. And in those 10 contacts, I'm going to transfer her name to 3 days later so that I will contact her a second time, and I'll use the script for that. And next to her name, I'm just going to put a little number 2 because I want to remember that that it's the second time I'm contacting her. Let's say I call her the second time. I use the script for the second call. I still get a voicemail and I still don't hear from her. Then I transfer her again to 3 days later from that, and I put a number 3 next to her name. That way, when I come across her name 3 days later, I've already called her twice. It's the third time. I use the script for the third call, and I know I'm calling her for the third time, and I remember that because I see it next to her name. So what you're doing is, if they're not a yes, like if they don't book or you don't get a hold of them, and they're not a no, they're in the middle, you're just transferring their names to the next time you're going to make booking calls 3 days later. You're transferring their names. You're transferring their names. You're just constantly transferring names for the people you don't get a hold of. Eventually, you'll get a hold of them and you'll get a yes, or they'll tell you when to call them. That's the 80%, okay? Now, the scripts, I've read through them. They're very lighthearted, they're very friendly, and you will not get anything but positive responses. That's another thing Nicole shared with me, is that she's not had anybody who's rude to her or who's like, stop calling me, like nobody. And so just know that that's a fear that we have. I know that we have that because I've been there. And just know that it's not likely to happen. Every once in a while, maybe you'll have someone who's like, stop calling me. But you know what? It's worth it for all the business you're going to get. And you're going to be reaching the people who do want your business or who do want to work with you. They are just super busy. Okay. So that's the system. You just need a date book. You need the highlighters. And I would get a date book where you can write down the contacts in each day to keep it all in one place. Now, this is simpler than the video. In the video, they are doing a filing system and they're doing like for months. I still think that this could work because if someone says, hey, call me in 3 months, I can go to the August or July tab and flip into July and write her name down. That's why I love this date book. I think this will work for the entire system. That's all you need. A date book where you can write down names in each day, where you can see your month at a glance, and then use your highlighters. That's where this is going to work. And if you like the bubble sheet, just use your bubble sheet instead of the day-to-day in your date book. okay? So it's not changing anything you're already doing. What it's doing is it's just giving you a system to know who to call next and to always have your 10 contacts every day and to not let people fall through the cracks and to work your 30 contacts to the max so that you're not constantly having to get new leads or think of new people to reach out to. And so you're not losing people that you could potentially have business from or have on your team. Okay, now, I know that you guys have hung in there with me, and we did go a little over 20 minutes, but I want to make sure that this is making sense. And I know you don't have the option to ask questions on here, so we'll definitely continue the conversation in the 100-day dash. But here's what I want to leave you with. I want to give a challenge to those who are willing to join myself, Nicole, and Kiara to pilot this program. And if you fit any of those categories that I read earlier, I want to challenge you to take this on to support your 100-day dash goal. Because what we don't want to happen is we don't want for you to set a goal and you want to be there. You want to be at the spa day. You want to earn it. Yet the work that you're doing doesn't match. And then you're frustrated over what's not happening in your business because you don't have the consistent work to back it up, or you don't have the leads to back it up, or you don't know who to call, or you don't know who to book. We want to avoid all of that. This is going to give you your plan. Okay, this is your plan. So I want to challenge you to take this on with us. And here's what I'm going to have you do if you're willing to take it on. 3 things by Friday. Number 1, plan your date book out with a highlighter and actually a paper date book. Plan it, highlight when you want to do appointments for the at least next 6 weeks, okay? So just like you saw my calendar was highlighted up, do that for yourself. Plan it in. Plan when you're willing to be away from your family. When is your husband okay for you to be away from your family? When are you able to actually physically go do parties? Plan it in with a highlighter. That's the first thing I want you to do. So you're choosing how many you're going to do a week. The 10 calls a day doesn't change that. You're booking when you're available, so you can do this 10 calls a day method, whether you want to do 4 parties a week or whether you want to do 1 a week, okay? So plan it in, how many you want to do a week. Now, if you're going for 36 and 36, let me just break this down. 36 plus 36, that's 3 plus 3 a week, so 3 parties a week. If you're going for the 25 plus 25 level, that's the 2 parties a week. If you're going for 18 plus 18, that's between 1 and 2 a week, so you might want to have 1 or 2 slots a week. If you're going for the 12 plus 12 to just earn your spot at the spa, go for 1 party a week. All right, so you're planning it when you want to do it. Now, that's the first thing. Highlight your date book. When do you want to have parties? The second thing, get your planner. Maybe this should be first. Get the planner and the highlighters. Okay, let's rearrange that. I'm crazy. First thing, get your planner. Get one that's month at a glance, and you can write things into the days. Or your bubble sheets, print out multiples of these so that you have, I did it front and back. Print a ton of them out so you're not worried about where they're at or printing them out. Get your stuff ready. Get your highlighters. 5 highlighters. Green, blue, orange, pink, yellow. Okay? All right. Second, plan your parties when you want to do them. Highlight your date book up. Third thing. This is the third thing. Use the 100 contacts brainstorming list I'm going to send out and try to get as many as 100. Or as many as you possibly can. Do the brainstorming activity. Do a brain dump so that you have 100 contacts. You can then narrow it down to your top 30 that you want to start with. And if you send your director your 100 contacts list by Friday, then I'm going to enter you into a prize drawing, another prize drawing. Okay, so if you do those 3 steps by Friday, send her your contact list by Friday, and you're taking on the challenge for the 21 days, then I'll enter you into the prize drawing that we'll do. Okay, and it'll be something really fun. So I can't wait to hear who's willing to take this on and to pilot this. And just remember that quote that I told you that if it doesn't challenge you, then it doesn't change you. And most of us are wanting change. Most of us want change in our business. Most of us want change in our lives. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, it's probably a good sign that it's what you need to move forward. So let's do this together. And, 10 calls a day, any of us can do that. Any one of us can find 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, or 30 minutes a day to be able to make 10 calls a day. And so I'm so excited about this. I hope that you are too. I know I've kept you long enough. Thank you for being on. And also congratulations for taking on the 100-day challenge and for being on the first call. Again, just a reminder, we'll continue these every Wednesday, and turn in your tracking sheets by Monday, and your bubble sheets will, if you turn in your bubble sheets by Monday, you'll get entered into a drawing. Here's the thing I'll do. If you're going to stop doing the bubble sheets, or maybe just do the system that I'm talking about, like writing them in, then just take a picture of your daily 10 contacts that you did. I'll count that for the bubble sheet drawing. Okay. So you decide what system you're going to use or how you're going to do it. So I love you guys. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for hanging in there. And I will make sure to post the video and the documents that you need. So have a good night. Bye.